أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed shaitan. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful.
الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا.
All praise is for Allah, who has revealed the book to his servant, allowing no crookedness in it.
قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا.
He made it straight, to warn of severe punishment from him, and to give good tidings to the believers who do righteous deeds, that they will have a good reward, that is paradise.
ماكثين فيه أبدا.
In which they will remain forever.
وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا.
And to warn those who say, Allah has taken a son.
ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا.
They have no knowledge of it, nor had their fathers. What a terrible claim that comes out of their mouths. They say nothing but lies.
فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا.
Now, perhaps you, O Prophet, will grieve yourself to death over their denial, if they continue to disbelieve in this message.
إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا.
We have indeed made whatever is on earth as an adornment for it, in order to test which of them is best in deeds.
وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا.
And indeed, we will make that which is upon it into a barren ground.
أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا.
Or have you thought that the companions of the cave and their inscription were among our signs, a wonder?
إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا.
When the youths retreated to the cave and said, Our Lord, grant us from yourself mercy and prepare for us from our affair right guidance.
فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا.
So we cast a cover of sleep over their ears within the cave for a number of years.
ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا.
Then we raised them so we may show which of the two groups would make a better estimation of the length of their stay.
نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى.
It is we who relate to you, O Muhammad, their story in truth. Indeed, they were youths who believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance.
وربطنا على قلوبهم إذ قاموا فقالوا ربنا رب السماوات والأرض لن ندعو من دونه إلها لقد قلنا إذا شططا.
And we bound, that is made firm, their hearts when they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. We will never call upon any God besides him, or we would truly be uttering an outrageous lie.
هؤلاء قومنا اتخذوا من دونه آلهة لولا يأتون عليهم بسلطان بين فمن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا.
These, our people, have taken besides him deities. Why do they not bring for worship of them a clear evidence? And who is more unjust than one who invents about Allah a lie?
وَإِذِ اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ يَنشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ وَيُهَيِّئْ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَمْرِكُمْ مِرْفَقًا.
Since you have distanced yourself from them and what they worship besides Allah, take refuge in the cave. Your Lord will extend his mercy to you and accommodate you in your ordeal.
وترى الشمس إذا طلعت تزاور عن كهفهم ذات اليمين وإذا غربت تقرضهم ذات الشمال وهم في فجوة منه ذلك من آيات الله من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا.
And had you been present, you would see the sun when it rose, inclining away from their cave on the right, and when it set, passing away from them on the left, while they were lying within an open space thereof. That was from the signs of Allah. He whom Allah guides is the rightly guided. But whoever he leaves astray, you will never find for them a guiding mentor.
وتحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود ونقلبهم ذات اليمين وذات الشمال وكلبهم باسط ذراعيه بالوصيد لو اطلعت عليهم لوليت منهم فرارا ولملئت منهم رعبا.
And you would think them awake while they were asleep. And we turned them to the right and to the left, while their dog stretched his forelegs at the entrance. If you had looked at them, you would have turned from them in flight and been filled by them with terror.
وكذلك بعثناهم ليتساءلوا بينهم قال قائل منهم كم لبثتم قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم قالوا ربكم أعلم بما لبثتم فابعثوا أحدكم بورقكم هذه إلى المدينة فلينظر أيها أزكى طعاما فليأتكم برزق منه وَلْيَتَلَطَّفْ وَلَا يُشْعِرَنَّ بِكُمْ أَحَدًا.
And so we awakened them so that they might question one another. One of them exclaimed, How long have you remained asleep? Some replied, perhaps a day or a part of a day. They said to one another, your Lord knows best how long you have remained. So send one of you with these silver coins of yours to the city, and let him find which food is the purest. Then bring you provisions from it. Then let him be exceptionally cautious, and do not let him give you away.
إنهم إن يظهروا عليكم يرجموكم أو يعيدوكم في ملتهم ولن تفلحوا إذا أبدا.
For indeed, if they find out about you, they will stone you to death, or force you back into their faith, and then you will never succeed.
وكذلك أعثرنا عليهم ليعلموا أن وعد الله حق وأن الساعة لا ريب فيها إذ يتنازعون بينهم أمرهم فقالوا ابنوا عليهم بنيانا ربهم أعلم بهم قال الذين غلبوا على أمرهم لنتخذن عليهم مسجدا.
And similarly, we caused them to be found, that they who found them would know that the promise of Allah is true, and that of the hour there is no doubt. When they disputed among themselves about their affair, some proposed, build a structure around them. Their Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed in the matter said, we will surely build a place of worship over them.
سيقولون ثلاثة رابعهم كلبهم ويقولون خمسة سادسهم كلبهم رجما بالغيب ويقولون سبعة وثامنهم كلبهم قل ربي أعلم بعدتهم ما يعلمهم إلا قليل فلا تمار فيهم إلا مراء ظاهرا ولا تستفت فيهم منهم أحدا.
They will say there were three, the fourth of them being their dog. And they will say there were five, the sixth of them being their dog, guessing at the unseen. And they will say there were seven, and the eighth of them was their dog. Say, O Prophet, my Lord knows the best their exact number. Only a few people know as well. So do not argue about them, except with sure knowledge, nor consult any of those who debate about them.
ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا.
And never say of anything, I will definitely do this tomorrow.
إلا أن يشاء الله واذكر ربك إذا نسيت وقل عسى أن يهديني ربي لأقرب من هذا رشدا.
Without adding, if Allah so wills. But if you forget, then remember your Lord and say, I trust my Lord will guide me to what is more right than this.
ولبثوا في كهفهم 300 سنين وازدادوا 9.
And they remained in their cave for 300 years and exceeded by 9.
قل الله أعلم بما لبثوا له غيب السماوات والأرض أبصر به وأسمع ما لهم من دونه من ولي ولا يشرك في حكمه أحدا.
Say, O Prophet, Allah knows best how long they stayed, With him alone is the knowledge of the unseen of heavens and the earth. How perfectly he hears and sees. They have no guardian besides him, and he shares his command with none.
واتل ما أوحي إليك من كتاب ربك لا مبدل لكلماته ولن تجد من دونه ملتحدا.
Recite what has been revealed to you from the book of your Lord. There is no changer of his words, and never will you find in other than him a refuge.
واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا.
And keep yourself patient by being with those who call upon their Lord in the morning and the evening, seeking his pleasure. Do not let your eyes look beyond them, desiring the luxuries of this worldly life. And do not obey those whose hearts we have made heedless of our remembrance, who follow only their desires, and whose state is total loss.
وقل الحق من ربكم فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا.
And say, the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Indeed, we have prepared for the wrongdoers a fire whose walls will surround them. And if they call for relief, they will be relieved with water, like murky oil which scalds their faces. Wretched is the drink, and evil is the resting place.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا.
As for those who believe and do good, we certainly never deny the reward of those who are best in deeds.
أولئك لهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتهم الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس واستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا.
Those will have gardens of perpetual residence. Beneath them rivers will flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and will wear green garments of fine silk and brocade, reclining therein on adorned couches. What a marvelous reward, and what a fabulous place to rest.
واضرب لهم مثلا الرجلين جعلنا لأحدهما جنتين من أعناب وحففناهما بنخل وجعلنا بينهما زرعا.
And present to them an example of two men. We granted to one of them 2 gardens of grapevines, and we bordered them with palm trees and placed between them fields of crops.
كلتا الجنتين آتت أكلها ولم تظلم منه شيئا وفجرنا خلالهما نهرا.
Each garden yielded all its produce, never falling short, and we caused the river to flow between them.
وكان له ثمر فقال لصاحبه وهو يحاوره أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا.
And he had fruit, so he said to his companion, while he was conversing with him, I am greater than you in wealth and mightier in numbers of men.
ودخل جنته وهو ظالم لنفسه قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا.
And he entered his property, while wronging his soul, saying, I do not think this will ever perish.
وما أظن الساعة قائمة ولئن رددت إلى ربي لأجدن خيرا منها منقلبا.
And I do not think the hour will occur. And even if I should be brought back to my Lord, I will surely find better than this as a return.
قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا.
His companion said to him, while he was conversing with him, have you disbelieved in He who created you from dust, and then from a sperm drop, and then proportioned you as a man?
لكن هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا.
But as for me, He is Allah, my Lord, and I do not associate with my Lord anyone.
ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا.
And why did you, when you entered your garden, not say, what Allah willed has occurred, there is no power except in Allah, although you see me less than you in wealth and children?
فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا.
It may be that my Lord will give me something better than your garden, and will send upon it a disastrous penalty from the sky, and it will become a smooth, dusty ground.
أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا.
Or its water will become sunken into the earth, so you would never be able to seek it.
وأحيط بثمره فأصبح يقلب كفيه على ما أنفق فيها وهي خاوية على عروشها ويقول يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا.
And his fruits were encompassed by ruin, so he began to turn his hands about in dismay over what he had spent on it, while it had collapsed upon its trellises, and said, Oh, I wish I had not associated with my Lord anyone.
ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه من دون الله وما كان منتصرا.
And there was for him no company to aid him other than Allah, nor could he defend himself.
هنالك الولاية لله الحق الحق هو خير ثوابا وخير عقبا.
There the authority is completely for Allah, the truth. He is best in reward and best in outcome.
واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء إن أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض فأصبح هشيما تذروه الرياح وكان الله على كل شيء مقتدرا.
And present to them the example of the life of this world, like rain which we send down from the sky. And the vegetation of the earth mingles with it and then becomes dry remnants, scattered by the winds. And Allah is ever, over all things, perfect in ability.
المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا.
Wealth and children are but adornment of the worldly life. But the enduring good deeds are better to your Lord for reward, and better for one's hope.
ويوم نسير الجبال وترى الأرض بارزة وحشرناهم فلم نغادر منهم أحدا.
And born of the day when we will remove the mountains, and you will see the earth exposed, and we will gather them and not leave behind from them anyone.
وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا.
And they will be presented before your Lord in rows, and he will say, You have certainly come to us just as we created you the first time. But you claim that we would never make for you an appointment.
ووضع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا.
And the record of deeds will be placed open, and you will see the criminals fearful of that within it. And they will say, Oh, woe to us! What kind of record is this that does not leave any sin, small or large, unlisted? They will find whatever they did present before them, and your Lord will never wrong anyone.
وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِنْ دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا.
And when we said to the angels, Prostrate to Adam, and they prostrated except for Iblis. He was of the jinn and departed from, that is, disobeyed the command of his Lord. Then will you take him and his descendants as allies other than me, while they are enemies to you? Wretched it is for the wrongdoers as an exchange.
ما أشهدتهم خلق السماوات والأرض ولا خلق أنفسهم وما كنت متخذ المضلين عضدا.
I never called them to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, or even their own creation. And I would not have taken the misguided as assistants.
ويوم يقول نادوا شركائي الذين زعمتم فدعوهم فلم يستجيبوا لهم وجعلنا بينهم موبقا.
And warn of the day when he will say, "Call my partners, whom you claimed," and they will invoke them. But they will not respond to them, and we will put between them a valley of destruction.
ورأى المجرمون النار فظنوا أنهم مواقعوها ولم يجدوا عنها مصرفا.
The wicked will see the fire and realize they are bound to fall into it, and will find no way to avoid it.
ولقد صرفنا في هذا القرآن للناس من كل مثل وكان الإنسان أكثر شيء جدلا.
And we have certainly diversified in this Quran for the people from every kind of example. But man has ever been most of anything prone to dispute.
وما منع الناس أن يؤمنوا إذ جاءهم الهدى ويستغفروا ربهم إلا أن تأتيهم سنة الأولين أو يأتيهم العذاب قبلا.
And nothing prevents people from believing when guidance comes to them and from seeking their Lord's forgiveness, except their demand to meet the same fate of earlier deniers, or that the torment would confront them face to face.
وما نرسل المرسلين إلا مبشرين ومنذرين ويجادل الذين كفروا بالباطل ليدحضوا به الحق واتخذوا آياتي وما أنذروا هزوا.
We do not send the messengers except as deliverers of good news and warners. And those who disbelieve dispute by using falsehood to attempt to invalidate thereby the truth, and have taken my verses and that of which they are warned in ridicule.
ومن أظلم ممن ذكر بآيات ربه فأعرض عنها ونسي ما قدمت يداه إنا جعلنا على قلوبهم أكنة أن يفقهوه وفي آذانهم وقرا وإن تدعهم إلى الهدى فلن يهتدوا إذا أبدا.
And who is more unjust than one who is reminded of the verses of his Lord, but turns away from them and forgets what his hands have put forth? Indeed, we have placed over their hearts coverings, lest they understand it, and in their ears deafness. And if you invite them to guidance, they will never be guided, then or ever.
وربك الغفور ذو الرحمة لو يؤاخذهم بما كسبوا لعجل لهم العذاب بل لهم موعد لن يجدوا من دونه موئلا.
And your Lord is the forgiving, the possessor of mercy. If he were to impose blame upon them for what they earned, he would have hastened for them the punishment. Rather, for them is an appointment from which they will never find an escape.
وتلك القرى أهلكناهم لما ظلموا وجعلنا لمهلكهم موعدا.
And those cities, we destroyed them when they wronged, and we made for their destruction an appointed time.
وإذ قال موسى لفتاه لا أبرح حتى أبلغ مجمع البحرين أو أمضي حقبا.
And when Musa said to his boy, that is servant, I will not cease traveling until I reach the junction of the two seas, or continue for a long period.
فلما بلغا مجمع بينهما نسيا حوتهما فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا.
But when they reached the junction between them, they forgot their fish, and it took its course into the sea, slipping away.
فلما جاوزا قال لفتاه آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا.
So when they had passed beyond it, Musa said to his boy, "Bring us our morning meal. We have certainly suffered in this, our journey, much fatigue."
قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره واتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا.
He said, "Did you see when we retired to the rock? Indeed, I forgot there the fish, and none made me forget it, except Shaitan, that I should mention it, and it took its course into the sea miraculously."
قال ذلك ما كنا نبغي فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا.
Musa said, "That is what we were seeking." So they returned, following their footprints.
فوجدا عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما.
There they found a servant of ours, to whom we had granted mercy from us, and enlightened with knowledge of our own.
قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا.
Musa said to him, "May I follow you, provided that you teach me some of the right guidance you have been taught?"
قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا.
He said, "You certainly cannot be patient enough with me.
وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا.
And how can you have patience for what you do not encompass in knowledge?"
قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا.
Musa assured him, "You will find me patient, Allah willing, and I will not disobey any of your orders."
قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا.
He said, "Then if you follow me, do not ask me about anything until I make to you about it explanation."
فانطلقا حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة خرقها قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا.
So they set out, but after they had boarded a ship, the man made a hole in it. Musa protested, "Have you done this to drown its people? You have certainly done a terrible thing."
قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا.
Al-Khidr said, "Did I not say that with me you would never be able to have patience?"
قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا.
Musa said, Do not blame me for what I forgot, and do not overwhelm me in my matter with difficulty.
فانطلقا حتى إذا لقيا غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا.
So they set out until when they met a boy. He, that is Al-Khidr, killed him. Musa said, have you killed a pure soul for other than having killed a soul? You have certainly done a deplorable thing.
قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا.
Al-Khidr said, did I not tell you that with me you would never be able to have patience?
قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا.
Musa said, if I should ask you about anything after this, then do not keep me as a companion. You have obtained from me an excuse.
فانطلقا حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية استطعما أهلها فأبوا أن يضيفوهما فوجدا فيها جدارا يريد أن ينقض فأقامه قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا.
So they set out until when they came to the people of a town. They asked its people for food, but they refused to offer them hospitality. And they found therein a wall about to collapse. So he, that is Al-Khidr, restored it. Musa said, if you wished, you could have taken for it a payment.
قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا.
Al-Khidr said, this is parting between me and you. I will inform you of the interpretation of that about which you could not have patience.
أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا.
As for the ship, it belonged to poor people working at sea. So I intended to cause defect in it, as there was after them a king who seized every good ship by force.
وأما الغلام فكان أبواه مؤمنين فخشينا أن يرهقهما طغيانا وكفرا.
And as for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared that he would overburden them by transgression and disbelief.
فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحما.
So we intended that their Lord should substitute for them one better than him in purity and nearer to mercy.
وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما رحمة من ربك وما فعلته عن أمري ذلك تأويل ما لم تسطع عليه صبرا.
And as for the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the city, and there was beneath it a treasure for them. And their father had been righteous. So your Lord intended that they reach maturity, and extract their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. And I did it, not of my own accord. That is the interpretation of that about which you could not have patience.
ويسألونك عن ذي القرنين قل سأتلو عليكم منه ذكرا.
And they ask you, O Muhammad, about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will relate to you something of his narrative.
إنا مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا.
Surely we established him in the land and gave him the means to all things.
فأتبع سببا.
So he followed away.
حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حمئة ووجد عندها قوما قلنا يا ذا القرنين إما أن تعذب وإما أن تتخذ فيهم حسنا.
Until when he reached the setting of the sun, that is the west, he found it as if setting in a body of dark water, and he found near it some people. We, that is Allah, said, O Dhul Qarnayn, either you punish them or else adopt among them a way of goodness.
قال أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا.
He responded, whoever does wrong will be punished by us, then will be returned to their Lord, who will punish them with a horrible torment.
وأما من آمن وعمل صالحا فله جزاء الحسنى وسنقول له من أمرنا يسرا.
As for those who believe and do good, they will have the finest reward, and we will assign them easy commands.
ثم أتبع سببا.
Then he followed away.
حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا.
Until when he came to the rising of the sun, that is the east, he found it rising on a people for whom we had not made against it any shield.
كذلك وقد أحطنا بما لديه خبرا.
So it was, and we truly had full knowledge of him.
ثم أتبع سببا.
Then he followed away.
حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين وجد من دونهما قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا.
Until when he reached a pass between two mountains, he found beside them a people who could hardly understand his speech.
قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا.
They said, O Dhul Qarnayn, indeed, Gog and Magog are great corrupters in the land. So may we assign for you an expenditure that you might make between us and them a barrier?
قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير فأعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما.
He responded, what my Lord has provided for me is far better. But assist me with resources, and I will build a barrier between you and them.
آتوني زبر الحديد حتى حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا قال آتوني أفرغ عليه قطرا.
Bring me bars of iron, until, when he had leveled them between the two mountain walls, he said, blow with bellows. Until, when he had made it like fire, he said, bring me, that I may pour over it molten copper.
فما استطاعوا أن يظهروه وما استطاعوا له نقبا.
So they, that is Gog and Magog, were unable to pass over it, nor were they able to effect in it any penetration.
قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكاء وكان وعد ربي حقا.
He declared, this is a mercy from my Lord, but when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will level it to the ground, and my Lord's promise is ever true.
وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا.
And we will leave them that day surging over each other, and then the horn will be blown, and we will assemble them in one assembly.
وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا.
On that day we will display hell clearly for the disbelievers.
الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا.
Those whose eyes had been within a cover, removed from my remembrance, and they were not able to hear.
أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا.
Then, do those who disbelieve think that they can take my servants instead of me as allies? Indeed, we have prepared hell for the disbelievers as a lodging.
قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا.
Say, O Prophet, shall we believers inform you of the greatest losers as to their deeds?
الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا.
They are those whose effort is lost in worldly life, while they think that they are doing well in work.
أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا.
Those are the ones who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord and in their meeting Him. So their deeds have become worthless, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any weight that is importance.
ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا.
That is their reward, hell, for the disbelief and mockery of my signs and messengers.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا.
Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, they will have the gardens of paradise as a lodging,
خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا.
wherein they abide eternally. They will not desire from it any transfer.
قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا.
Say, O Prophet, If the ocean were ink for writing the words of my Lord, it would certainly run out before the words of my Lord were finished, even if we refilled it with its equal.
قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا.
Say, O Prophet, I am only a man like you, but it has been revealed to me that your God is only one God. So whoever hopes for the meeting with their Lord, let them do good deeds and associate none in the worship of their Lord.